3.
Okay, to our knowledge, this is the very first NVT 850 SRT4 trans ever put in a 2G Eclipse. This is a 99 model Mitsubishi Eclipse. I have custom fabricated this mount. No, it is not pretty. This is honestly the first one. I am going to do another one. Now that I have the base knowledge of how everything goes and we've kind of figured it out, we're going to make a cleaner version of it. I'm just trying to figure out the do's and don'ts, what will work and what won't work with this mount. That way we know where we can put supports on it, where supports ain't going to fit. Because the last thing we do is get in the way of the shifting mechanism as well. That's a big thing for us. We don't want to interfere with anything here. And there's really not a lot of room down here to do anything, but we're also wanting to use the factory chassis mount. So what we're going to do now is, I do have a jack holding up the oil pan of the engine, and I have a little tie holding the engine in place. We've got everything measured up to keep it where it wants to be. We're going to take the cherry picker down, and we're going to let this mount support the transmission, or we hope that it supports the transmission. Many welds that I got on that thing, there you go. Our mount works. So we wasn't 100% sure on any of this. The other big issue is diff clearance. The differential casing on this transmission is much larger than the NVT 350, but this thing also, this is the one that utilizes the Queefy LSD. I don't know if it's really bigger, but I feel sure it being an LSD, it's a bigger diff over factory. I don't know if the LSD trans is different size or whatever. It may not be. I don't have a lot of that knowledge, but it is extremely tight. As you see, I can't even put my hand back there between the diff cover and the cross member. There is a little piece at the bottom of the cross member I need to cut out over here for the diff cover. It's right down in there. And then back here, I don't know if we're going to be able to get back there to see where the oil filter housing goes. Right there where my finger is, I'm going to have to trim out just a little bit on the cross member there. But that's something you want to be very careful with, because you don't want to weaken anything. This holds your lower control arms and everything in place. So really everything I'm doing is taking my time, making sure it works, like measuring out where the engine needs to go. This is all taking time. You got to be patient with this. And I'm not expert knowledge at fabricating this mount. Probably the most intricate piece I've ever fabricated. But I want to let everybody know what's going on. I know some people are really interested in this, and a lot of people say that this could not be done, and I don't know for what reason. I imagine they got through it and it was just such a pain in the butt. They said that it wasn't worth it. But so far it is done. So I'm pretty excited about that. Like I said, the motor mount is absolutely disgusting. The welds are not good. We had problems out of argon flow with our welder. For the first couple welds, I cleaned them up as good as I can. We've got the argon fixed, and now my welding helmet went out. So I literally welded all that blind. I started it and I didn't look, and I just did what I do. So I lost off the joint a couple times. This is the first mount. This is the first one. The second one's gonna be a lot cleaner, a lot more robust, and honestly should really be a nice mount. And we also got to make one for that side that is a much larger mount, and it's going to be a much more difficult thing to do, because we're not going to be utilizing any of the factory SRT4 mounts. Now, the one thing that's going to be totally different about the way an SRT4 engine hooks up in their chassis to this one, we are going to make a mount to the cross member here that connects to the diff cover and to the transmission. That way, none of that slinging, none of that. It can't jolt. The way the SRT4 transmission is set up, you have like a swivel mount here, and then you have two mounts over there, and the way they're connected, honestly, I'm pretty sure that's what's causing input issues with these cars. It allows everything to bind up. There's nothing in the center to keep it from torquing. So anyways, guys, I got a lot more work to do. I've been at this relentlessly for the past 3 days. So we're going to go ahead and check a couple fitment issues with the turbo manifold and everything like that. Just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on.